drummers, musicians, and music aficionados. Tim Connolly, drummer, drum teacher, coming at you today with an important video. Something that I think is going to help some people out there, because I'm targeting a specific group here. And that is the 7 mistakes, the most common mistakes that self-taught drummers make or are making. Okay, so nothing against self-taught drummers. Some of the greatest drummers of all time were self-taught. They didn't take any lessons, or they didn't take a lot of lessons. Ringo Starr always comes to mind. Charlie Watts comes to mind. But for most of us, we need an instructor. We definitely need someone to guide us. And how do I know this? Because I've taken thousands of lessons, and I've also given thousands of lessons. I've been the student, I've been the teacher. I know what it's like to be on both sides, okay? So let's run through my list here, and we'll briefly talk about each one. The first one is a lot of self-taught drummers, while they can play some grooves, and they do have, maybe some decent feel, and they play in a band, and, everybody thinks they sound great and whatever. One thing that they're almost all lacking, and that is technique. So, nobody is going to figure out a lot of advanced techniques, or even beginner techniques for that matter, without being shown. So I really feel that technique is super important. It's a big part of my teaching. I spent a lot of time with drummers that absolutely specialized in this area and that were magnificent at teaching it. And I learned so much, made my playing so much better. So I'm speaking from experience that technique is super important, from holding the drumsticks to learning such great techniques as the free stroke, the exercise for the free stroke, the Moeller technique, the Buddy Rich push-pull or just push-pull technique, and also the Billy Gladstone fingers techniques. Once you nail down those, you have got a wealth of information to pull from to make your drum grooves and phrasing around the kit, snare drum stuff, if you're a snare drummer, is going to be so much better if you can learn those techniques, and there's others as well, but those are the ones that I definitely recommend. So lack of technique is a fundamental reason why you're not advancing as a drummer that's not taking lessons, okay? Number 2, you're gonna have a lack of styles. You're probably gonna be very one-dimensional, maybe just a rock drummer, maybe just a metal rock drummer, maybe just a jazz drummer, maybe just a Latin drummer, or whatever. I think it's important to learn a wide variety of styles, and a teacher can really help with that. Learn how to play rock, learn how to play many styles inside of rock, progressive rock, metal, hard rock, soft rock, pop rock, whatever. From there, learn how to play jazz, learn how to play some jazz fusion stuff, learn how to play modern jazz. Definitely reach out and try to learn how to play some Afro-Cuban, Brazilian, and world beats. That's really going to help you, okay? So a lot of self-taught drummers, they listen to a specific style of music, and that's all they know how to play. And it will make you better in that style that you already know how to play if you branch out to other styles, because you will be able to incorporate some things you learned, say from a funk beat, into your rock playing. I mean, they're interchangeable a lot of the times. I've taken tons of Afro-Cuban type rhythms and put them in with rock, and you can use them as little breaks. You can learn how to do special kind of phrasing and fills and orchestration around the drum kit, just from learning a variety of different styles. Okay, my next one is allowing bad techniques and bad grooves to proliferate, meaning that you're not realizing that you're continually making the same mistakes. And the most common mistakes I see are related to gripping of the sticks and getting the sticks to bounce and move effortlessly. That's the most common mistake that I see. Almost every student that I have that's a self-taught or previously self-taught and now is coming for lessons, some of them have been playing for 30 plus years. They have terrible technique, plain and simple. The great Freddie Gruber taught Neil Peart. And I love Neil and I love Freddie. And the first thing Freddie said was, "Your technique sucks," to Neil. And Neil is my favorite drummer of all time. If you check out my other videos, you'll find that out. But that being said, Freddie was a master of technique, and Neil got better and better. If Neil Peart takes lessons, we all should be taking lessons. That's my philosophy anyways. Okay, next one. A false belief that lessons will kill your creativity and or your feel. I don't believe that. I think that lessons are going to make your creativity better and your feel better, because you've learned how to develop your technique to be able to get the sticks to move better. You're then able to take the ideas in your head and orchestrate them better on the drum kit, because now you've actually got some skills to be able to do that. The other thing is that when you take lessons, it opens up your mind to many, many different rhythmic concepts that you were not aware of. Especially going back to, if you only listen to one style of music, you're only going to be able to pull ideas out of that style. But if you're listening to, like I said, combining genres, if you're a rock drummer, but you're listening to and learning how to play Afro-Cuban, you can take some of those Afro-Cuban things and put them in with your rock drumming. You know, I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I can't express how important that is. It will not kill your creativity, it will increase your creativity. It will do the opposite by learning more and more and more things. Okay, next one. Thinking that better gear makes you a better player. Now, it's always nice to have a new drum kit. It's always nice to have a nice snare drum sound, a nice tom sound. It makes you feel better when you're playing, absolutely. But on the flip side, I can remember being in New York as a young music student and seeing some going and seeing some jazz drummers play at some of the local clubs in Lower Manhattan. These guys had the most beat up drum kits you've ever seen, but they made them sound amazing because they were such great, great players. So don't think that because you're new to drums, you need a super expensive drum kit, because really you don't. Just get yourself a beginner kit, see if you like it. I can still make a beginner kit sound good because you got to learn how to tune. That's another thing. In drum lessons, a good teacher is going to show you how to tune your drums to make them sound good. So even if the drums aren't super expensive, they can be tuned to sound really, really nice by someone that knows what they're doing. And I always teach tuning as part of my lessons. Next one, thinking lessons won't help. So you're letting your ego get in the way, thinking, I don't need lessons. I did that when I was 10. My mother came to me and said, Tim, I am sick of hearing you playing the same grooves and same fills constantly. You've got to take lessons. My response as a 10-year-old was, I don't want to take lessons. I already know how to play. Well, I was wrong, because luckily she forced me to take lessons, and I ended up loving the lessons. I learned so much. I still take lessons. I've been playing almost 50 years. Dom Famularo, Dave Weckl, Steve Smith, these are some of the heavy, heavy drummers that I've been privileged to take lessons with. And when you're learning from drummers of that world-class quality, you can't help but get better. Now, that's not to say that every beginner drummer, intermediate, even advanced or pro drummer needs to take lessons with Steve Smith, Dom Famularo, Dave Weckl like I did. It just means that you can still seek out a teacher in your area. Just seek out a good teacher that focuses on musicality, and developing musicality through technique. That is what I think is fundamentally important in getting a good teacher. Not a guy that just shows you how to play beats. Get a teacher that works on the fine tuning of technique and the fine tuning of developing grooves and playing a variety of styles. Get a drummer that plays a variety of styles so that you can develop and be an all-around player. That's one thing that a lot of the great players of today have, is the ability to play almost every style, okay? Now my last one, which I think is important, is a lot of drummers who are older think, I'm too old for lessons, I'm not taking lessons. That's baloney. If you've got a heartbeat, you're not too old. If your heart is beating, you are able to show up for drum lessons. Like I said, at my age, I'm not that old, I'm only 56 years of age, but still taking lessons, still seeking out knowledge, and I will continue to take lessons and seek out knowledge till the day I can't do it anymore. I firmly believe that if you're retired, you're 70 years old, you never played drums, or maybe you used to play drums years ago and you're thinking about getting back into it, I encourage you heavily to get back into it. Enjoy life. Now you got all the time in the world to practice. You can be a teenager again, Teenagers, I can remember when I was a teenager, man, I couldn't wait to get home to play those drums and practice and do the stuff that I learned from my lessons. So when you're 70 years old and you go and get a teacher, you can be a kid again and you can learn from someone that's a skilled player / teacher. Now, not every great player is a great teacher. And vice versa. Not every great teacher necessarily is a great player. If you can find someone that is a great player and a great teacher, well, that's jackpot. That's what I always sought out. I always sought out guys that were awesome teachers, but they were also great players too, and they could demonstrate the stuff to me so that I could take this stuff home, practice it, and develop it, okay? Now, this is a series of different video lessons that I'm going to do. This one obviously just on a specific topic, but stay tuned. There's going to be more videos coming. I want to thank everyone who subscribed to me recently, and please check out my other videos, subscribe and like, and post your comments. Thank you very much. Keep drumming. See ya.